Hey, this is Carolyn Western. I'm the head coach at Wrestling Prep, and my conversation this morning is around how to adequately and effectively set up your youth and high school wrestler for success from the parent's perspective or mindset. It is hard to explain the fine line between adequately motivating a youth athlete, a high school athlete, or even a collegiate athlete as a parent, and when you're could be potentially or are causing irreparable damage to their performance. And it is not a very pleasant conversation often, because the onus is almost entirely on the parent, and it requires an act of bravery and open-mindedness toward the parent that is not often found in everyday, parenting. So when you have an athlete that sincerely wants to achieve, and there's a set of activities for them to do in terms of training, and what those actually comprise will be a topic of another conversation. But this conversation is around parents assessing themselves to see if they are adequately and effectively helping their athlete. And I would say there's a very thin line between I'm saying what I'm saying to my athlete because I love them and I want them to succeed, or there is something that I'm hoping to fill in myself by the performance of my child. And it's often not readily available, like you don't undersee it until the damage is done. And I've been coaching since 2005, and the number of parents and guardians and even coaches I've suggested get therapy, take a look at themselves, understand if there's an underlying agenda they are trying to achieve that they're not even aware of, and seek professional help from someone who has experience dissecting behavior and motivation, and then having a means to effectively communicate with a young athlete is often overlooked. And then later, when things have gone really sideways, or the athlete is no longer participating, or the athlete has chosen a trajectory that includes activities that are not effective for his success or for their success in the sport or their success in life, that includes not taking part of all of the things that are advantageous that's available to them because of their training. The first component that we notice is a need for a parent to document on social media every aspect of their kids' activity and success. And when the success, the parent, or maybe the community in which the athlete participates in isn't at the highest level, there's a dialogue or written memorialization of how the parent feels about the athlete's lack of attainment of the highest bar possible or what they had hoped for. We see many comments like, not what we wanted, but we've got a lot of work to do now, or it wasn't the best day, back to the drawing board, and often much harsher commentary. If a parent thinks a child of any age is not affected by this, it's not the case. In actuality, it's the opposite. And when a parent posts, it was a controversial ref's call. The other team pushed somebody up a weight that we weren't anticipating. If my child had just dropped the 2 pounds, guess that'll be the last time they don't want to cut. Even though your child may never read these things that are posted, they already know that's how you feel. Because if it's so overwhelming to you that you feel a need to document something about your child for people and strangers and everybody to read, your kid has already gotten that vibe. And you may have been, your coach may have said something, or your child may have tried to tell you something. Often when children act out, it can be because of the parents and what they feel or say. But the constant need to document everything your child does and every success or failure your child has and every moment of every day on social media is very different than having a small text thread with some friends and family saying, wow, Junior really wanted this or she really wanted that, and it didn't happen. If you feel the need to always refer to your child's success as we won, we competed, we had these matches, it's cool that you're a team with your kid, but I think most people suspect that's the purpose of raising a kid, that you are the support. You chose, in most cases, to birth this child, and whomever they are is who they are, and by law and hopefully by love, you're committed to putting them in the best situation possible. I encourage you to embrace the thought of how would you feel if you went on to Snapchat or Instagram or some form of social media that most youth, high school, and collegiate athletes use, and see a post that said, well, my mother's annual review came in and it wasn't what we wanted. Apparently she's not working hard enough. I guess we'll have to try to motivate her. Sure would be nice to be able to go to college without the need for a scholarship or to get a new pair of shoes. I think that's would be devastating to a parent. Or if the child said, whoops, look at my dad. He's 40 pounds overweight, but I'm running every day trying to scrape down to the lowest weight. His doctor said that he's got high blood pressure, hypertension, and pre-diabetic, but he's still banging back 4 beers a night and overeating. That would be horrible, I think, as a parent. And I think that's what you want to consider when you're writing things for your kid. If you find that it's super hard not to untangle your emotion toward yourself and what you feel you need to convey about your child, then in today's day and age, especially post-COVID, the opportunity to speak with someone online or in person is ubiquitous. Most insurance providers have telemed, med health, mental health. You can get online and you can speak to a therapist, and it doesn't have to be about what happened to you as a child or how you feel toward whomever you're involved with. It could just be a simple behavior modification. You could explain to the therapist, I am exhibiting this behavior, and I think it is potentially damaging to my child, and I want to alter this behavior. You don't have to go into a deep psychoanalysis of your feelings towards your great-grandmother or your indigenous upbringing or any of the other things that are out there. It could simply be a behavior modification. When I feel this, when I see red, when I feel compelled, what can I do to stop this? And I think not only will that benefit your athlete, but you as a person, and could potentially benefit all the relationships that you have. It's not easy. If you don't have health insurance, there are a huge supply of ads and information online saying you can call this number, reach out to these people, and have these conversations. They are completely anonymous. You cannot offend them. It's not like having a conversation with your child where you can offend them by something you want to say, because even if you say, I'm trying to change, they'll still feel like they're causing it. Something they're not doing is causing you to feel like you're changing if the only thing they know is your constant supervision and adjustment and commentary on what they're doing. Keep in mind that children feel emotion. They're not their feelings of surrounding emotion is not dulled down as time does to every person who walks on the planet. And they are dependent upon you for food, shelter, love, water, potentially education. And they know that. Even if you've said to them, you've never even said those words, but a lot of time the action, you can't have a package unless you tell me you love me. You need to do this and take this action, even if this other person has hurt you or taken advantage of you, for you to get new clothes or new wrestling shoes. There's a tit for tat. And kids feel that in a way that's hard to explain. I have adult children, and I've had many ripping conversations with a medical professional, a mental health professional, from input from my children on how to better meet their need, which is my responsibility as an adult. I believe, and for me, and I hope for others, it's after a certain age, 22, 23, 24, it becomes the adult person's responsibility to understand and control, modify behavior, and be responsive to things that don't work for others in our lives and for ourselves. As a child, they are not equipped. They are still dependent. The thoughts in their head are not truly of their own, meaning they're paying their own bills, they're living in their own home, they're driving their own car, and they have separated any of their actions from a monetary or life-sustaining support of the parent. And even though they're older and on their own, when they sense disapproval or that they're not helping you meet your need as adults, they'll separate themselves, can choose to separate themselves and move on. And they can determine how much time, how many holidays, when they have grandchildren, how much time they want to spend with you. So to help your athlete achieve, looking for the signs of behaviors that shows that you're sensitive to others' opinions of you based upon your child's athletic or academic achievements, or you feel immense pain and embarrassment or shame at something your child has done or how they achieve in a sport or academics, that probably has very little to do with your child. And it probably has something to do with something that someone inflicted on you, or you witnessed, or you were a part of, or a non-choosing participant. And there's hope. There's hope for that. And I find that I've found many, many sports parents in wrestling, particularly fathers, have said to me, my child almost quit. My first child quit. We had a lot of fighting. I was the overbearing parent, and now I say nothing. And I wish I'd learned that sooner. So anyway, it's my conversation for today. I hope it's helpful and comes from a place of just wanting everyone to have more opportunity to succeed, not only in achieving accolades in the sport of wrestling or MMA or other combat sports that I'm involved in, but also, fulfillment in life and just wanting everybody to have their best. So thank you.